Hello and welcome to our third lesson, and in this lesson we are going to, as we had been doing, we still have the laws of indices to deal with. And in the previous lesson we discussed about what is going to happen to numbers or letters when they have a multiplication operation between them. We said if there is an multiplication, if there is a multiplication between two numbers or two letters that are of the same basis, then we are going to add the powers. If they are not, if they are just numbers, we can just multiply them. But if they are letters, before we can add the powers, for anything, before we can add the powers, we need to check for two conditions. Are they having the same basis? That's first of all. And second of all, is it a multiplication sign between them? And now we are going to see how we are going to deal with the law of indices number 2, which is on division. So this one is saying that if we have two bases separated by a division sign, so far as they are the same, then we can subtract the powers. This is the opposite of the multiplication. So we have the same basis, a, and we have powers y and z, then is equal to, we choose one of the bases and then subtract the bases from each other. Subtract the powers from each other. So in essence, you can say or a raised to power y over a raised to power z is equal to a raised to power y minus z. So just choose one of the bases and then carry out the operation. Alright, so but there are conditions. The first condition is that the bases are the same. We've talked about this one earlier on. The bases must be the same before we can carry out this operation. You see that a raised to power y divided by a raised to power z is equal to a raised to power y minus z, or y minus z. Why is it y minus z? It's because they have the same basis and then they are divided, they are separated by a division sign. This is the operation. So if it's a division sign, we are going to subtract the powers. So make sure that the bases are the same, then the items must be related by a division sign. So meaning that we have a division sign between them, that's when we can carry out a subtraction operation on the powers. But if they are not, if it's not division sign, if it's multiplication sign, we are going to add the powers. Division sign, we subtract the powers. So, and then the third operation or the third condition is that try as much as possible not to make mistakes when, or not to confuse divisors for dividends. So what are divisors and dividends? This one is called the dividend, while the one at the bottom is called the divisor. The divisor. So why we say try as much as possible not to confuse the dividend and the divisor is because if you confuse them as this one is the divisor, if you interchange them, this one goes up and this one comes down, then it means the powers too will change. So if you say a raised to power y over a raised to power z is equal to a raised to power z minus y, then you've got it wrong. So try as much as possible to make sure that this one at the top is the one that comes first before this one. So if we have 10 raised to power 5 divided by 10 raised to power 3, then you can see that the bases are the same. So we have bring 110 and say 5 minus 3. If you mistake it for 10 raised to power 3 divided by 10 raised to power 5 and still say that 10 raised to is equal to 10 raised to power 5 minus 3 instead of 10 raised to power 3 minus 5, then you've made a huge mistake. So the one that comes first, the dividend minus the divisor. So make sure that you don't confuse this for this. So now let's take examples. The first example here is, let's say we have y raised to power a divided by y raised to power b. So you can guess what we are going to get since it's a division sign between them. So we are going to choose one y and then the powers a and b. So it's going to be a minus b. Very simple. This question can also come in the form of y raised to power a over y raised to power b. It's also the same. So you're still going to say a minus b. Try as much as possible. I'm repeating it for the obtained time. Try as much as possible not to confuse it and make it y raised to power b minus a, because you're going to get your answers wrong. Alright, so what if we had something like 2 raised to power 5 divided by 2 raised to power 3? is the same thing as 2 raised to power 5 minus 3, and is the same thing as 2 raised to power 2, which is 4. Look at this one. 2 raised to power 5 is 2 in 5 places. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 and times 2, divided by 2 times 2 times 2. 2 raised to power 5, 2 in 5 places. 2 raised to power 3, 2 in 3 places, divided by, this is the division sign between them. So we can say 2 cancels 2, 2 cancels 2, and 2 cancels 2. What we are left with is 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So that's why we have this one. But instead of using this long method, we just used the law of indices to just get our answer as 4. You can see how simple this is. So what if we had something like 16p raised to power 5 divided by 8p raised to power 3? So what's going to happen? You can see this one is just like saying 16p raised to power 5 over 8p raised to power 3. So 8 here 1 and 8 in 16 will go 2 times. So we have 2p raised to power 5 over p raised to power 3. And then we can just say 2p raised to power 5, since we have p and p, right? So you can just say p raised to power 5 minus 3. So 2p raised to power 2. So that's our answer. Very, very simple. So we stop here, and don't worry if you don't understand this one. There are going to be a lot of examples I'm going to solve on separate videos. Don't forget to practice, because with constant practice, that's how you are going to get better. And then try as much as possible to click on the subscribe button, and you can like the video and share it to your friends. I hope they all like them and we all learn together. Bye bye.